Michael Jackson was mid-spin during the most famous dance move in history when his sequined glove flew off his hand and landed at the feet of a 7-year-old boy in the front row. What happened in the next 60 seconds stopped 72,000 people cold and changed that boy's life forever. September 11, 1988. Wembley Stadium, London. Michael Jackson's Bad World Tour. The concert was sold out. 72,000 fans packed into every seat. Another 50,000 had been turned away at the gates. Michael was performing Billie Jean. The song. The moment everyone had been waiting for. The Moonwalk. But that wasn't even the incredible part. The real story had started 6 months earlier, and only 3 people in that stadium knew the truth. Let me tell you. March 1988. Tommy Sullivan was 7 years old. He lived in South London with his mum, Claire, and his little sister, Rosie. Tommy loved 3 things: football, his mum's shepherd's pie, and Michael Jackson. His bedroom walls were covered with Michael Jackson posters. He knew every lyric to every song. He could moonwalk better than any kid on his block. But in March, Tommy's life changed. He started getting tired, really tired, falling asleep at school, too weak to play football. "Mum, my legs hurt," Tommy said one night at dinner. "Growing pains, love," Claire said, trying to sound cheerful. "You're getting big." But it wasn't growing pains. 2 weeks later, doctors at Great Ormond Street Hospital gave Claire news that no mother should ever hear. "Your son has acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We need to start chemotherapy immediately." Tommy didn't understand what leukemia was. He just knew he felt sick all the time, and his hair was falling out. And he couldn't go to school anymore. The hospital became his home: white walls, beeping machines, nurses who smiled too much. Tommy shared a room with 3 other children, all fighting cancer, all losing the same battle against exhaustion and fear. At night, when the other kids cried, Tommy would hum Billie Jean quietly. Sometimes they'd stop crying just to listen. "When can I go home?" Tommy asked his mum every day. Claire would hold his hand and lie. "Soon, baby. Very soon." The chemotherapy made everything hurt. His bones ached, his stomach burned. Some mornings he couldn't lift his head off the pillow. But here's the thing. Tommy had one dream that kept him fighting through the pain. One poster on his hospital room wall. Michael Jackson in his sequined jacket and fedora. "If Michael can dance like that," Tommy told his mum once, "I can get through one more day." "Mum," Tommy whispered one night in May, "do you think Michael Jackson knows I'm sick?" Claire's heart broke. "I don't know, love. I wish I could see him perform, just once, before—" Tommy didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. That night, Claire Sullivan did something she'd never done before. She wrote a letter to someone she'd never met. She sat at the hospital cafeteria with a pen and paper, started writing, stopped, crumpled it up, started again. How do you tell a stranger your son is dying? How do you ask the impossible? She wrote 7 drafts. Each one felt wrong, too desperate, not desperate enough. Finally, at 2 a.m., sitting in Tommy's hospital room while he slept, she wrote the truth. "Dear Mr. Jackson, my son Tommy is 7 years old and he's fighting cancer. He loves you more than anything in the world. I know you get thousands of letters, but if there's any way, anything at all." She sent it to Michael Jackson's management office, never expected a response. 2 weeks later, an envelope arrived. Official letterhead. MJJ Productions. Inside was a handwritten note. "Claire, bring Tommy to Wembley, September 11th, front row seats. Someone will meet you at the VIP entrance. M." Claire read it 3 times. Then she cried. "Tommy," she shouted, running into his hospital room. "We're going to see Michael Jackson." Tommy's face, pale from chemotherapy, lit up like Christmas morning. September 11th arrived. Tommy had been in and out of the hospital all summer. The chemotherapy was brutal. He'd lost all his hair. He weighed 40 pounds. He looked like a ghost. "Are you sure you're strong enough?" Claire asked that morning. Tommy nodded, his eyes fierce. "I'm going, Mum, even if you have to carry me." They arrived at Wembley Stadium at 6 p.m. The crowd was already massive, people camping out, screaming, holding signs. Claire showed the letter to security. They were escorted through a private entrance, down a corridor, to seats in the absolute front row, center stage. "This can't be real," Claire whispered. A woman in a headset appeared. "You're Tommy?" Tommy nodded shyly. "Michael wants you to have the best view. These are his personal guest seats. He knows you're here." Tommy's hands started shaking. Michael Jackson knew his name, knew he was coming. It felt impossible. 72,000 people. The lights went down, the screaming started, and Michael Jackson appeared on stage. For the first hour, Tommy forgot he was sick. He sang every word. He clapped. He smiled bigger than he'd smiled in months. Then came Billie Jean, the opening bass line. The crowd went insane. Michael moved to center stage, right above where Tommy was standing. The moonwalk was coming. Everyone knew it. Michael started the move, gliding backward, impossibly smooth. His right hand in the sequined glove extended toward the audience. He spun, fast, one full rotation, and the glove flew off. It spiraled through the air, sparkling under the stage lights. 72,000 people watched it fall. It landed directly at Tommy's feet. Tommy looked down. The glove, Michael Jackson's glove, right there. He bent down and picked it up. His hands were shaking. Michael stopped dancing. He stood completely still, staring into the front row. The music was still playing, but Michael wasn't moving. 72,000 people fell silent. What was happening? Michael walked to the edge of the stage. He was looking directly at Tommy, at this tiny bald boy holding his glove. Michael knelt down. He was 3 feet from Tommy's face. "What's your name?" Michael asked, his voice caught by the microphone. Tommy," the boy whispered. "Tommy, how old are you?" 7. Michael saw Tommy's bald head, the dark circles under his eyes. He understood immediately. "You're a fighter, aren't you, Tommy?" Tommy nodded, tears starting to fall. "That glove," Michael said, pointing at it, "that's yours now. But you have to promise me something." "What?" "You have to keep fighting. Every single day. Can you do that for me?" "Yes," Tommy whispered. Michael reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a second glove, the left hand, put it on, and reached down to Tommy. "Come up here with me." Security started to move, but Michael waved them off. "Help him up." Claire lifted Tommy over the barrier. Security helped him onto the stage. 72,000 people watched a 7-year-old cancer patient stand next to Michael Jackson on the Wembley Stadium stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," Michael said into his microphone, "this is my friend Tommy, and he's braver than all of us." The stadium erupted, not screaming. Applause. Respectful, thunderous applause. Michael put his arm around Tommy. "You want to finish this song with me?" Tommy nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. The band started Billie Jean from the chorus, and Michael Jackson and Tommy Sullivan danced together. Tommy couldn't do much. His legs were weak, his body was frail, but Michael matched his energy. Slow spins, simple steps. He made it look like they'd rehearsed for weeks. The audience wasn't watching a performance. They were watching something sacred, a moment of pure human kindness on the biggest stage in the world. When the song ended, Michael knelt down again. He whispered something in Tommy's ear. The microphone didn't catch it. Nobody in the audience heard. But Tommy heard, and his eyes went wide. Michael helped Tommy back to his seat, gave him a hug, and continued the concert. After the show, Claire tried to thank Michael's team. "That was the most incredible," a security guard interrupted. "Miss Sullivan, this is for you." An envelope. Claire opened it in the car. Inside was a letter and a check. The letter said, "Tommy's treatment, all of it, however long it takes. Already arranged with Great Ormond Street Hospital. He will have the best doctors, the best care, everything. This is between us. Just help him fight. M." The check was for $500,000. Claire pulled the car over. She couldn't see through her tears. "What's wrong, Mum?" Tommy asked from the back seat, clutching his sequined glove. "Nothing's wrong, baby. Everything's right." The next day, Great Ormond Street Hospital called. "Mrs. Sullivan, we've been contacted by a private donor. All of Tommy's treatment has been paid for, in full. We're also bringing in a specialist from America." Claire didn't tell them she knew. She just said thank you. Tommy's treatment continued for 18 months. The new specialist, The experimental therapy. It was aggressive. It was painful. But it worked. In March 1990, Tommy Sullivan was declared cancer-free. He was 9 years old. He'd beaten leukemia, and he'd done it because Michael Jackson told him to keep fighting. Years passed. Tommy grew up. He went to university, studied medicine. Every exam, every late night studying, he'd look at the glove on his desk and remember, keep fighting. He became a pediatric oncologist, a children's cancer doctor. Why did you choose this field? People would ask. Tommy would smile. Someone once told me to keep fighting. I want to tell other kids the same thing. He never spoke publicly about Michael Jackson. He kept the glove in a glass case in his home. The letter from Michael stayed private. Until June 25, 2009, Tommy was 28 years old, working at Royal Marsden Hospital. He was in a consultation when his phone started buzzing. News alerts, hundreds of them. Michael Jackson dead at 50. Tommy left the hospital, went home, took the glove from its case, and cried. That night, he posted a photo on Twitter, the sequined glove, and a caption. In 1988, Michael Jackson's glove fell during the Moonwalk at Wembley. I picked it up. I was 7 and dying of cancer. What he did next saved my life. He paid for my treatment, $500,000. Never told anyone, made me promise to keep fighting. I became a cancer doctor because of him. 47 children alive today because I'm alive. Michael, I kept fighting. Thank you. The tweet went viral. 5 million retweets in 12 hours. Then something extraordinary happened. People started responding. Michael paid for my daughter's heart surgery. $200,000. Anonymous donor. We found out years later. He funded my brother's wheelchair. Custom made. We thought it was the hospital. It was Michael. My nephew's cancer treatment. 3 years. Michael paid everything. Never wanted credit. CNN investigated, and the truth came out. Michael Jackson had quietly funded medical treatment for 238 documented families between 1985 and 2009. Over $45 million, all anonymous, through lawyers and trusts. He had one rule, his lawyer told reporters, never tell them it's from me, just help them. Tommy Sullivan was invited to speak on every major news program. He declined most of them. But he agreed to one interview. That night at Wembley, Tommy said on BBC. When Michael whispered in my ear, he said, I'm going to make sure you get better. But you can never tell anyone. This is just between us. You just focus on fighting. Tommy's voice cracked. I kept that promise for 21 years, but now he's gone, and I think people need to know. The real Michael Jackson wasn't the headlines. He was the man who saw a sick kid in a crowd of 72,000 and stopped everything to help. 3 months later, the Tommy Sullivan Foundation was established, funding cancer treatment for children whose families can't afford it. Michael taught me that one moment of attention can save a life, Tommy says to the children he treats. He stopped his concert for me. I'm stopping to help you. To date, the foundation has helped 1,147 children receive cancer treatment. On opening day, Tommy placed Michael's glove in a display case at the foundation headquarters. Next to it, a photograph. Michael, kneeling on the Wembley stage, arm around a tiny bald boy. The plaque reads, September 11, 1988. A glove fell. A boy picked it up. A superstar stopped everything. 72,000 people witnessed a miracle. Today, Tommy Sullivan is 43 years old. Cancer-free for 34 years. He saved hundreds of lives as an oncologist. And every patient who walks into his office sees the same thing on his wall. A sequined glove in a glass case, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest gesture can change everything. If this incredible story of compassion and one magical moment moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that one person's kindness can echo for decades. Have you ever witnessed a moment that changed someone's life? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to ring that notification bell for more amazing true stories about the heart behind music's greatest legend.